to me.
Done.
All right, so today I'm sitting in my home office. I got my son doing the video for me there. And I'm going to talk about this Lifeproof rigid core vinyl flooring product. This is what I just put in here. I used 6 boxes in a 10 by 12 building, which is a little under 100 square feet once you account for the framing and the walls. Took me a little over 2 hours to get the whole thing installed, and I used a Eco Foam product from Home Depot. This also came from Home Depot. I got a really good deal on clearance. Bought a whole bunch of boxes about a year ago. Just finally got it installed. We got to where we're doing the building, and I just want to talk about the product and what I used to install it. It's just a really good product. I've done laminate floorings before in the past, and I've had the thin layer, like thin vinyl planks installed in my home. Those are glue down and they're real thin and flimsy. But these are rigid core, and this is what that means. Right there. So you get a little bit of flex, but they stand out straight. They act a lot more like a laminate. They have the same installation tile as you would like a laminate, so to click and lay in. And at the end of the day, the tools that I used to install this: rubber mallet to knock it into place, a speed square with a box knife to cut my pieces to length, a block to help very carefully on the corners here knock this into place just like you would with a laminate, and a crowbar at the very end. At the last row, it's difficult to get the last row in, and so I always use a crowbar up against the edge, put a little pressure and push it down to kind of snap that into place at the end. And that was easy enough that my 7-year-old son was able to help me with that, and he finished up the row for me. The only time I did use a table saw, because I have one, was on this very last row. I needed to rip that board down to 6 inches, and that was easier to do on a table saw. Now I've got to go vacuum up the plastic mess, but I could have done it with a knife. So I'm going to show you real quick how easy this is to cut and break. Give you some confidence that if you don't have a big fancy saws, you can still install this in your home, no problem. So after I would lay the piles out, I would kind of get the measurement that I would need on my last board. Either for me, I just kind of lay it out and do an eyeball comparison. You can also just measure the piece you want, measure where you want to make your cut. Making a cut is this easy. Oliver, you got me in frame?
Yeah.
Okay. So I would just take the blade with my speed square and drag it down. And very careful at the end. Obviously, I don't want to cut my vinyl. I don't want to cut the underlayer. I had a piece of, actually an old piece of wood, a sheathing that I had scrapped that I was doing this on, so I didn't have to worry about this at the time. Just make several passes, and you get pretty good at this as you go. I would not recommend doing it from the top. Doing it from the bottom is easier. If you do it from the top, the vinyl itself curls on the end. May not be the result you want against the walls there. So now I have it scored several times. Just snap it back quick, and there you go. You can see my line. It's pretty easy. While I'm holding this up, we can talk about the layers here. As you can see, there's a sound absorption layer, the thick core here, and then the vinyl plank sits on top with another protectant on the top. These are waterproof. They're very durable. They're very comfortable, as my kids have already told me, walking around and playing in here. And they were that easy to cut. Like I said, this job went really quick. I put an Eco Foam, kind of a 10-in-1 advertised underlayer on it because I needed some insulation in here. I don't have anything underneath the floors. Overall, again, really simple project. Hopefully this is useful for you. If it's useful, like it, share it. Let me know. Thanks. Hit the button, buddy.